So in the NBA, there is an ever-growing topic about loyalty, and if loyalty should be applied in both ways, on the player and on the organization. And in this video, we're going to talk about how the organizations in the NBA get away with a lot of backstabbing towards their top players in their respective franchises. But before we get started, make sure you drop a like down below, hit the comment section, and also subscribe if you enjoy what you see from the channel, and hit the bell to be notified after every video that we post. It's your boy David from NBA Knowledge, and let's talk about two NBA players who were screwed out of their organizations. The first player that I'm going to talk about is Isaiah Thomas. Coming into the NBA, Isaiah Thomas was drafted with the 30th pick of the second round, which was 60th overall. So yes, he was the last pick of his respective draft class in 2011. And then in his rookie season, went out and took his starter's job, averaging 12 points and 4 assists on decent shooting splits of 45% from the field, 38% from three, and also shooting 83% from the free throw line. He would eventually become a 20-point per game scorer with the Sacramento Kings on similar efficiency numbers, and then was later traded to the Phoenix Suns. And then when he went to Phoenix, he didn't really play long there, only played 46 games, and was traded to Boston. So very early in his career, Isaiah Thomas was given up on by numerous franchises, and considering that he is 5'9", it doesn't take 2 and 2 to put together to understand why he was let go from so many different teams and bounced around the league, which would become a future theme for the rest of his career. It's because of the fact that because he's so small, he cannot play defense whatsoever. And this isn't a Trae Young situation where, maybe if he gives some more effort. No, he's not even 6 feet tall. To be under 5'10" and playing in the NBA is a huge accomplishment. But then to be that impactful at a star or even a starting caliber level, that is very difficult. Your offensive compensation has to be at an all-time high. And for a while, Isaiah Thomas was reaching those expectations once he reached Boston, because coming off their Big Three era, Boston really needed to rejuvenate their organization, so they headed into a rebuild phase. And after acquiring all of Brooklyn's first round picks, they didn't have to tank in order to be successful and get top players in the draft, so they decided to actually put effort towards winning games, and Isaiah Thomas was the biggest proponent of that in 2016 and 2017, because in 2016 he would lead them to a 48-win season, putting up averages of 22 points, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds on shooting splits of 43% from the field, 36% from three, and 87% from the free throw line, which is a pretty impressive year, especially considering that they were not only a top team in the Eastern Conference with the 5th seed, but he was also selected to an All-Star game. But then the next year came, and one of the most incredible seasons that the NBA has ever seen, and a very impressive season in the history of sports, Isaiah Thomas would go out there and finish top 5 in MVP voting while leading the Boston Celtics to the 1st seed in the Eastern Conference of 53 wins, while averaging 29 points and 6 assists, as well as 3 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field, 38% from three on 9 attempts a game, and also shooting 91% from the free throw line. And then he would go into the playoffs and have some of the most incredible playoff performances that the league has ever seen. As most people remember his outing against the Washington Wizards in Game 2, where he put up 53 points. Mind you, this was after his sister passed away. I believe this was on her birthday. He would do that while shooting 54% from the field, 42% from behind the arc, and 92% from the free throw line. Throughout that entire series, he was killing the Wizards' defense as he averaged 27 points and 7 assists while shooting 45% from the field, 46% from behind the arc, and 85% from the free throw line. But then in the next series against the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, he would suffer a very devastating hip injury that caused him to only play 2 games throughout the entire series that the Celtics eventually lost in 5. But then the offseason came and he was still recovering from his injury, and the Celtics decided to trade him so they could get Kyrie Irving. And honestly, man, I don't even blame them. Because for one, yes, Isaiah Thomas was a great player for them. But let's be honest, at 5'9", there's only so much a guy like that can do for you as your first best player or even your second best player. A guy like Isaiah Thomas is more so suited so he could be a bench player because he's not someone that can be on the court for that long because he's that much of a defensive liability. He's not someone that can consume that much time as a focus of an offense unless he's coming off of the bench. If he was fulfilling a role similar to Lou Williams, that's fine. But when he's your number one best player, you can't expect to win a championship, and even getting to the conference finals should not be a guarantee in most years in a situation like that. But yeah, that's how it ended for Isaiah Thomas, as then he was later traded to the Cavaliers, then the Lakers, later on went to the Nuggets for a couple of games, and then went to Washington, then was traded to the Clippers, and now he's been officially relieved and he's a free agent. It sucks, don't get me wrong, it really sucks how downhill his career went, going from a top 5 MVP candidate at 5'9", dominating the league offensively and dropping nearly 30 a game on every single team in the league. Yeah, it's very impressive what he did, and it sucks he never got paid because he never got a full extension, never got a max contract. All his contracts are 1 or 2 year deals worth chump change, and it sucks, but that's life. It happens. And to all the people out there saying that, hey, the team is wrong for doing that, people need to understand that the NBA is a business. They will always move on without any player. And those are just the facts. And it's proven in the next player we are going to talk about in Dwayne Wade. Because to all the people out there saying, hey, why didn't the Celtics just have IT's back? He did all that work for them, put them on top of the Eastern Conference. Why can't they have his back the way he had theirs, going out there and playing after his sister died? Well, guys, I think y'all need to understand, it doesn't matter how high of a level you play. No matter what, a team can do whatever they feel the right to do, as long as they're not breaching any contract issues, obviously, or disrespecting you blatantly, which leads into this next guy, Dwayne Wade. For those who do not know, I'm sure we all do, but Dwayne Wade is a 3-time NBA champion, a former league finals MVP, and had one of the greatest careers in NBA history as one of the greatest shooting guards the league has ever seen. But when the Miami Heat and him departed ways in 2015, it was a very rough patch, as a lot of people expected the Heat and Dwayne Wade to stay together forever. But Pat Riley, being the savvy businessman that he is, didn't want to give Dwayne Wade the money that he wanted because he looked at D-Wade and said, look, bro, you're too old for me to give you the bag that you want because you're not going to give us the production that comes along with that money. And honestly, man, I hate to say it, but I get Pat Riley's perspective. Doesn't mean I don't get Dwayne Wade's. I mean, he came to the Bulls. I can't hate on him for doing that. That's my favorite team. But you have to understand, like I said with IT, the game is a business. Yes, it does suck that D-Wade took pay cuts for years and had to not only sit back and watch others get the bag, but he anticipated getting one in the future. Yeah, unless this dude had it in writing or told you straight up, I'm gonna pay you this much, don't worry, just take these pay cuts for now, there really is no complaining that Dwayne Wade can do. Because if the money is that big of an issue, you can always find a sucker out there to go to and pay you more than what you're actually worth. And that's exactly what he did, going on to Chicago, and then eventually went to Cleveland, and it was just a whole bunch of nasty stuff. Dwayne Wade in a Chicago uniform or a Cavaliers uniform just doesn't look right. Thank God he went to Miami later on to finish the rest of his career. And it really does suck, I have to say, because it's different when you don't have a ring and then you end up leaving an organization. But when you leave an organization after you've accomplished so much, Dwayne Wade is out of his prime. He's older. He doesn't need to win a championship to validate his legacy or anything. He was already set as a top 20 to top 15 player in NBA history and the third greatest shooting guard of all time behind Jordan and Kobe. He didn't have to leave, but simply due to the money, that's why he left. And I'm not calling him selfish. I'm not calling the organization selfish. I'm just simply stating the facts. The facts are Dwayne Wade was not performing at the level of the contract that he wanted, and he felt that he should be given a contract similar to what the Lakers gave Kobe, at least kind of like a thank you contract for all the years of service. But Pat Riley didn't see it that way. And like I said earlier, the game is a business. But that concludes this video, you guys. Make sure y'all drop a like down below if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified. Also, comment your opinions in the comment section. I'd love to know what you guys think. This is your boy David from NBA Knowledge. Y'all stay safe and wash your hands. And don't forget to wear a mask. I'm out. Peace.